Good morning. Ira Epstein with your Morning Flash Update, and this update is for Wednesday, and we're at the 11th of June, 2025. By the way, it's first hot day. We're going to hit 90 in Chicago. We haven't had that, so interesting day, not humid. That's nice. Let's talk about a few things that are going on right now and get to them. We had the mortgage market numbers come out, and the index came in at 254.6 versus the prior week's 226.4. So that's up 12.5%. The purchase index went up 10.3, and even the refinance went up, which is, to me, mind-boggling, but people are doing it at these rates at 15.6. Then we look at the CPI, and you were only up a tenth on the headline number. That's half of what was expected. They were looking for it up 0.2. The core, ex-food and energy, CPI month over month was up a tenth. They expected it up 0.3. So those headlines are really, really good numbers. Then you come down year over year to see where they were. The consumer CPI came in 2.4 year over year. They expected 2.4. And the core came in at 2.8. They expected 2.9. So any way you want to cut this, I don't care how you do it, the inflation isn't yet showing up from the tariffs. Now, is it because of the tariff money that is coming in? Is it a combination of that tariff money and the retailers or whoever's got these goods eating part of that? It's probably all of the above. We keep hearing now, go and you'll see it show up in June. Well, that's what they've been saying for April, now May, so maybe they'll get right that this month will show where it's at. It wouldn't surprise me because it will show sooner or later. But you've got to take into account that we're getting big tariffs right now. What happens when those tariffs shrink? Do the prices also go down is going to be the key, because those tariffs will come down. Now, the other elephant in the room was China-U.S. trade talks, which ended up, how do I phrase this, going back to what was agreed to in Geneva just recently. I guess that's what it is. We don't know the details. The president said things are great and that it will be coming on board, and he's wants to talk this week, sign that package, and I guess President Xi will do the same. But I don't know what it does if nobody does what they said they're going to do. I think China wants to give us the rare earths, and I think we have to give the chips and the software technology that they want to get things back on track. Let's see what that does. Best buddies forever are talking again. Elon Musk pulled posts and said he went overboard with those posts. You know, that takes a big guy to say that, and he did it. So now let's see if the president will be just as big guy and the two get back together, because these are the two most powerful men in their own way in America. We look at the Dow. It did rally pretty sharply off the news. You were down big prior to the CPI, and it was just a complete reversal. Gold came up. Silver rallied off the lows. The market went to the first support zone in silver this morning when it got to the 36.20 area. In the dollar, down hard as most currencies rallying on this news against the dollar right now. We see bonds and notes. They looked at this news. They came up and we saw a pretty reasonable drop in interest rates off of things. On the energy market, 90-degree weather in the Midwest, kicking this up. It's not really the hot weather. I'm talking 90 day after day. That's not what they're doing just yet. But the other part of the news that is good, and that's the key, is that the fact that the U.S. and China sound like they're going to be nice to each other for a while and get this trade gradually ratcheting up, and that gives a bid into all this. In addition, the European Union wants to hit Russia with even more sanctions now. They want to take the cap on the oil price to $45. They want to shut off the income that Russia gets from natural gas and from oil. And that's one of the ways to attack and stop the war. You haven't heard a word out of the president, because part of what's going on is Russia has made an offer to hold the uranium that is enriched by Iran. There's more to it. I got to read about it, but those were the headlines that I saw on that. So that's pretty much where you're at. The good news is you're going to get PPI tomorrow. You're going to get the University of Michigan consumer sentiment numbers, ideas on what people think about inflation, and that finishes off inflation week. But today was a big report, and I'm not saying the U.S. China. That's old news. We knew that they'd eventually have to do something to deal with each other. The big news to me, the positive news, has to do with CPI, and it just isn't as hot as we have been led to believe. The area that, if you look at the report, that's the problem is shelter costs. They're not dropping, and that's a huge issue for Americans. I want to remind you also that my silver report goes off our website today. So if you want to view it, go up to iraepstein.com. You'll see in the top left the green. There's be icons up here as I post this morning. Take advantage of it because you're not going to see it again. And I like the report more today than I did when I actually created it. So that tells you that I think I'm on the right track. I'm Ira. You have yourself a great trading day. I'll catch up with you at the end of it with our market wrap-ups.